are back with another episode of Against the Insanity. This is episode 10. You've got Jason and Ricky back in the house. We are celebrating President's Day today. What a great day to have such a wonderful president.
You ain't black.
What's going on? Oh, hey, Mr. Biden.
That's funny. President's Day, 2023. Yeah, I feel great about our administration, and I know that he has the U.S. in his best interest, and that's why he's in Ukraine today. So
I'm so sick of this shit, dude. Like, when I saw he was in fucking Ukraine today, I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
Right. Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? And, I mentioned it earlier, but, they talk about how bad this war is and everything, and yet he's over there visiting? Like, I don't know, dude. It's just... I feel like what we're being told is something completely different than what's actually going on in real life. I mean, if it's so bad and it's such a war zone, all this shit, why is he over there? I don't know, dude. It don't make sense to me. Exactly. You would think he would be here where it's safe. I don't know.
Well, speaking of here where it's safe, that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about. Like, our first topic is all these train crashes and stuff. Like, Biden's in Ukraine today, but yet he's nowhere near Palestine, Ohio, where one of like multiple train crashes have happened, and there's polluted water, dead animals, and shit like that. But yeah, he doesn't. That doesn't seem to be a problem.
Right? No, nothing to see here. It's okay. We got it.
Well, what's so crazy about like Palestine, Ohio is like nobody in the media is really talking about it. You know what I mean? There's no response. Trump said he was actually going to go there on Wednesday, and then FEMA kind of said, "Oh, we were going to go and we're going to, make sure these people have money and food and stuff like that." But only after Trump said he was going to go there.
Yeah, a real president decided to go to Ohio and see what was going on. Interesting.
I know, man. I miss him every day.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, what we have now, I mean, regardless of your political, stance here, but I mean, if you voted for him, Biden, I hope you're rethinking your choices here.
One of us is in deep trouble.
It ain't gonna be fucking me, that's for sure. Right. Well, and what a lot of people aren't talking about either is there were 2 train derailments consecutively, almost 2 weeks. Monday, February 13th, emergency crews responded in the morning hours to a train derailment in Montgomery County in Texas along Essex Freeway and Middle Line Road. So that there was like 2 additional fucking train derailments there in almost 2 weeks. And then we also have another similar incident in the afternoon hours of Henry, South Carolina, where officers were called to clean up another train derailment near Highway 22 in South Carolina.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like, why? Like, what's going on with these train derailments? Like, I haven't heard of this shit. Like, this frequent, I guess. Like, and what are these trains hauling?
Yeah,
like, primarily,
more fucking hazardous chemicals because with what happened in Ohio with the chemicals and shit like that, and then also I remember I had sent you guys earlier in the week about fucking in Arizona a truck hauling fucking hydrochloric acid flipped over, and there had to be fucking people, like evacuations, and it was letting off all kinds of toxic gas and shit like that. So like, what the fuck is going on? Like, maybe it's coincidence, which I doubt at this point. You know what I mean? But seriously, you do have to ask the question, like, what the fuck is going on right now? I really don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, just weird shit going on. And then, I sent you this fucking other article. This is a classic case of story of a good guy with a gun in Texas, licensed to carry bystanders, shoots El Paso mall shooter as he targeted more would-be victims.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, good. Yeah. Go ahead. No, I'll let you finish.
Oh, I was going to just say, police in El Paso, Texas say that a licensed to carry bystander shot the alleged gunman who is accused of killing one person and injuring another 3. The suspect, a 16-year-old Hispanic male, is accused of shooting individuals after a confrontation ensued between 2 groups at the Celio Vista Mall on Wednesday evening at 5:05 p.m. The El Paso Police Department said the confrontation eventually escalated into a physical fight, and a 16-year-old pulled out a handgun, fatally shooting Angeles Zaragoza, 17, and injuring another 17 and 15-year-old. Police then said Emmanuel Durham, 32, who is a licensed to carry gun holder, shot the suspect as he was pointing his gun toward the direction of more bystanders. Sounds like a classic case of fuck around, find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he wasn't Emmanuel Durham, the one that shot this guy, if he wasn't there, the shooter would have kept shooting more people. I mean, and he just said it there. He was pointing his gun at other innocent bystanders in the mall. So if he wouldn't have stopped him, he would have killed and injured more than just the 3 people that were involved here. 1 dead and 3 injured, right?
2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, classic case of self-defense. The guy was there. He was able to protect other innocent people that were there in the mall that day. So, it sucks that when anyone dies, but it could have been a lot worse if he wasn't there.
Well,
and that's...
Oh, yeah.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, and that's why it is very important to still have a Second Amendment and gun rights, because this shit does happen. And more times than not, when this good guy with a gun scenario happens, you don't see it in the news. It's not really pushed out there anywhere. It's very hush-hush. But when you hear the other side of it, someone goes into a school and shoots up all these people, and you hear about that. But you don't hear when someone with a gun, a good guy with a gun, stops somebody that was bad. So, it's unfortunate that we live in the times that we do, where people are so against guns, but you have to understand that they are a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always love to hear those stories, especially when people are fucking going into to a shop or something like that, trying to rob the place, and the dude, behind the counter pulls out a gun and puts them in their fucking place. I don't feel sorry for you. It's like that guy, once again, in Texas, who we watched that video. I think I sent it to you guys, where he was in a restaurant waving his gun around, robbing everybody, in this fucking little Mexican restaurant. And
right.
The guy waits till he goes past and pulls out his fucking gun and guns the dude down in the restaurant. And to find out that the gun that the guy was holding was a toy. You're in there terrorizing people. So many people do get shot by criminals. And what do you think is going to happen to you when somebody thinks that you have a gun and they're packing heat and they get an instant to pull on you? It's exactly, you're going to fucking end up 6 feet under. And to be honest, I don't fucking feel sorry for you.
Especially with, the way the political climate is and just the way things are. I mean, if you just have a toy gun on you in public and you're waving that shit around, I mean, you better expect to get shot. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Especially in Texas, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Why the fuck would you think in Texas you're going to be able to get away with something like that? I mean, fucking grandmas are packing heat in Texas.
Right. Yeah, don't fuck with Texas, dude.
And and a lot of times too, and that case specifically, a lot of people were upset because if you watch the video, I mean, the guy shot him quite a few times. He made sure the threat was neutralized. Maybe, if you watch the video, seemed like it was a little over the top. But to be honest, what happens to a lot of these criminals these days? They get released, they come back out, they're gonna fucking do it again. I can't say I blame the guy for making sure that the job was finished. Whether or not it was right.
Yeah. I mean, the thing too, though, even in law enforcement, I mean, there are many times where, a police officer isn't just going to shoot one time. You're shooting to neutralize the threat. You know what I mean? So sometimes that does mean multiple shots to stop that person from doing what they're doing. I mean, if they're holding a gun and you're shooting at them, you want to make sure that they're not going to be able to shoot back. So, yeah, sometimes it does require more than just one shot, up to, 10 or more. I mean, that's just the way it is, So for an innocent, or a citizen to do it, I don't see it being any different. I mean, they're trying to make sure that they're stopping that person and they're not going to shoot back at them. So I get it. I 100% do.
Yeah, It is crazy though, because I mean, like more and more you see what happens is, these store clerks and stuff are defending themselves, and then these prosecutors try to arrest them. They're the ones that get arrested, not the criminals. The
Right.
criminals end up fucking back out on the street. And I gotta be honest, like at that point, if I'm gonna end up going to jail, might as well just finish the job to make sure more people are safe on the streets. And
Right. Right.
yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but it's like, I mean, these people are constantly fucking repeat offending. They're not getting better. They're not getting help. They're not oppressed by the system. They just keep
No.
fucking abusing it.
Right. No, I agree. It's bullshit.
So, yeah. I mean,
No, I mean, I'm glad that this guy was there to stop it.
Me too.
That's how I see it. I mean, honestly, that's how I do. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot more people shot and killed and injured if he wasn't there. So I'm glad he was. I mean, that's about it.
Fucking around, he found out. A lot of weird shit in the news, and this is the last story I kind of wanted to talk about because, a lot of people don't think this fucking happened. Well, I mean, we all know the NFL fucking lets people get away with fucking murder half the time. But, this next story I was reading in the New York Post is former NFL player Eric Johnson among 8 arrested on human trafficking gang charges. So Eric Johnson, who played 6 seasons in the NFL from 2000 to 2005, is among 8 accused of trafficking 4 women and 1 girl as other gang-related charges on Thursday. The Attorney General Chris Carr says the Lotto gang members are facing charges of trafficking persons for sexual servitude, violation of street gang terrorism, and the Prevention Act, conspiracy to violate Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, aggravated assault, and kidnapping. All 8 were indicted by a grand jury on February 8th. Like, people don't think about human trafficking on like the day, today's sense that it's still going on. But here you clearly have like a former NFL player involved in this shit. It's going on right under our noses. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, one thing I don't understand about when you hear about NFL players that are involved in shit like this, like, why the fuck are they even doing it from the very beginning? Like, you were in the NFL, you're making a shitload of money. You get out of the NFL or whatever, or in some cases, you're still in it playing consecutively, and you're still doing this weird shit, like, outside the game. Like, what is it? Like, are these people that mentally sick or what? Because, like, you have the world by the balls, you have all the money that you could possibly ask for. You can, have a family, wealthy, you can afford anything you want in your life, like, all the things that you would think would make someone happy. And then there are people that are doing this shit. Like, why? I don't get it.
Well, it's like, look at the whole Aaron Hernandez story. I mean,
right.
Freaking gang banging and stuff like that while he's still in the
right.
NFL and killing
it's
people.
Like he's gang banging in the NFL. Like, again, why? I mean, you can leave all that shit behind, all that bullshit. You can move all of your loved ones, families, friends out of that situation, get them out of that scenario. Yet you play a football game, you go home, and you go right back to it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's almost like they just it's not enough. You know what I mean? All the money and stuff like that it just seems like it's not enough, and then you start getting involved in this shit, and it's like, people act like modern day slavery doesn't exist. Well, here is a perfect example. I mean, these women were held against their will and forced to do things, obviously, that, they didn't want to do. So, like, everybody acts like it's just no big thing, but here it is. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, I look at stories like, I'm sending you guys stories like this all the time about little kids, they finding kids and that kind of thing being trafficked throughout the United States. And everybody just turns a blind eye to it. It's kind of fucked up.
Right.
I'm going to continue covering shit like this too. I mean, I really feel like, one of the reasons to do the podcast again and bring it back is so we can vent about shit like this, and people are, more aware of this shit going on. So I definitely, bring more light to it, because people need to realize this shit's still going on. It ain't getting better.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a fucking week, dude. I gotta be honest. It's just fucking, you know, bitching about a lot of shit at work and everything else. I'm just fucking glad that, we're finally getting back to fucking recording the podcast and stuff.
Right.
I just have so much to fucking complain about. I was talking to you guys earlier about, just fucking California in general, and I'm just fucking over it, dude. Like,
Right.
I really am.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that article you sent last night. What, 500,000 people left the state of California?
Oh yeah, I mean it's telling. Like I left the state of California. I can't believe I'm fucking back here. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'm
Right.
working on rectifying that now, but like it sucks every day. Like I tolerate it, but in the same sense, like it's not for me, man. Like the politics of this state and the fucking crazy people. I honestly I don't believe California is as blue as they make it out to be, because with all the corruption and voting and stuff like that, I really do think California is deep down is a red state, but until we overcome the voter fraud and all that shit, I just don't think it's going to get any better, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be a naysayer and more of a a Debbie Downer, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to get any fucking better.
Right. I mean, and what you shared there with that article too. I mean, it's the proof is right there. I mean, when you see 500,000 people leaving in what, a year?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
I
That's
think
a lot
it
of
was.
Yeah. That's a lot of people, dude. I mean, there's a reason why people are leaving. Whether it's just too expensive. The cost of living is just not.
Yeah, the span of
Obviously
2
it's not
years, actually.
2 years.
Looking at the article, yeah.
Okay. Still, even 2 years, dude. That is a lot of people. Like, it
Something's
doesn't make
wrong.
sense. Something definitely is wrong, and people are seeing it and they're leaving.
Exactly.
And it's I think probably over the next another 2 years and onward, you're going to see that number increase drastically because, dude, it's not worth it dealing with that bullshit.
Yeah. Well, me and Amy, since we've been kind of looking at the van life thing and as a way to just at least right now to get out and hit the road, and some of the places, because we have to register like it's called like a domicile, like where we actually would live, and like some of the states that allow you to actually do what we would like to do would be Texas, South Dakota, and there was like one other one. It's basically like for your driver's license, your voter registration and shit. And I'm like talking to Amy, I'm like, well, hell, Texas is fucking fine for me. I'll fucking register my shit in Texas.
Yeah.
I can fucking travel the road and shit like that before I, fucking come home.
So how does that work anyway? As far as like if you're living on the road, like you don't have necessarily like a primary residence in a state.
Exactly.
Like how? Okay.
So there are. I'm still kind of learning. Amy's been kind of telling me about it now. That there are places that would allow you. It's almost like a service that would allow you to like forward your mail and shit like that, and kind of give you like it's almost like a temporary residence. So like I said, so I can keep my license and that kind of thing, and basically get out of California. I wouldn't be registered anywhere in California. Then I would we would still be living here with the apartment, but we would take the van and fucking hit the road until we find property
Okay.
and shit like that. But it would have to be like one of those 3 states, and they forward you your mail and stuff. It's like a service. So it would be kind of cool, but I would need more like remote work and stuff like that. So I've been kind of like, looking at these websites and seeing what like remote IT work would be out there, and, talking to Target, I'd talk to you guys about coming home. We want to start a fucking business and shit.
Right.
So like, there's a lot fucking going on, and I'm just like, it's kind of overwhelming right now because of just how fucking, today, case in point, fucking going into work and figuring out that we weren't ended up working in general. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Yeah.
It's more and more excuses for me to finally get off my ass and stop being a bitch and do my own thing. Which is why, we're bringing back the podcast too. There's more we want to be involved with, and, I want people to fucking tune in, and I want to have a good time and just shoot the shit with everybody and stuff and see what we can do.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that's about it for today. I mean, I really don't have fucking anything else. I mean, there'll be plenty more, I'm sure, as the fucking week goes on and stuff. But unless you got anything else.
No, I don't have anything else either.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so, I just want to thank everybody once again. We are Against the Insanity. We just, recently brought back the podcast. This should be episode 10 for us right now. We want to maybe start doing this more regularly as it comes on. But right now, it's usually look for us about once a week. But, we want to actually probably here coming up, get a TikTok going. We also want to get more of a PayPal. Like if you really do start to enjoy the show and you want to donate to us, that would be great. We'd like to actually make this a decent part-time job if we can, and actually make something of it. But until next week, thank you for tuning in. This is Jason and Ricky from Against the Insanity. We'll catch you next week.
Adios, mofo.
You shit-kicking, stinky horseman horse-smelling motherfucker, you!